All right, here we go. Our furnace short cycle every 4.5 minutes. If your furnace short cycles, you're in the right place. Grand Design, the manufacturer of this trailer, spent close to $3,000 trying to troubleshoot a problem that the solution for it surprised everyone. The manufacturer of the trailer, of the furnace, the technicians that came over here straight from the factory, and the one that they sent us that they were located locally over here in our area. Furnaces are primitive appliances. They are not complex. They're really not. And when you understand how that thing works, you will be able to troubleshoot anytime that heat doesn't come out or the furnace doesn't turn on. I personally right now have on hand a few extra parts in case something goes wrong, and if it does, I'm probably going to be able to take care of it myself. There are multiple reasons for a furnace to short cycle. If we're not pushing enough air from the first furnace inside the trailer, then there is a heat buildup that tripped the high limit switch. The second one could be because of a blocked exhaust vent. So if you check these two first, you could save yourself a lot of headache. The second reason is a faulty high limit switch, whether it's maybe too sensitive or faulty for whatever other reason. It's relatively cheap part, about $10. So a lot of technicians go and replace, do that check with airflow and then replace the high limit switch. The third thing could be electrical board that is not working properly, and that's also one of the parts that a lot of the technicians like to replace without spending a whole lot of time on troubleshooting. The fourth thing is a faulty flame sensor, and if the electrical board doesn't get a signal from the igniter, usually in small furnaces the igniter and the flame sensor is the same thing, then it turns off the gas flow, and that could also cause a short cycle. Less common reasons could be because of the blower not pushing enough air. So many technicians will check the RPM, how fast that blower is turning to push air through the furnace to the ductwork. And a less common thing is a damaged heat exchanger. There are probably other things that could cause short cycle. In our case, it was none of the above. It is related indirectly to some of the things that I talked about, but it was none of the above. Yes, we ended up replacing a lot of parts that only partially part of the problem, and that was mainly due to desperation. There was a lot of frustration in the process of diagnosing what's going on with our furnace, and this is because this RV is brand new, and the furnace. Okay, quick update on that. This repair of the furnace turned to be somewhat nightmare. We ended up taking the entire furnace out, put it on the table, so we are able to turn it on and keep the gas propane flow to the chamber with the flame and everything essentially working, so we can troubleshoot while visually can inspect everything. We ended up replacing multiple parts like the lever, the high limit switch, the board, and today I brought two other parts, which is the gas valve and the igniter. The last thing on the line of that system is the thermostat. Now, if you asking yourself why I didn't start with the thermostat, because all the symptoms showed that one of these parts are not working, and the thermostat, essentially a simple switch of turn on, turn off, is working properly with the AC, and also, as far as we know, works also with the furnace. So this is where we at. What I'm going right now is to install the two new parts, the gas valve and the igniter. I will start with the igniter and see if it's working. If it doesn't, then I'll replace the gas valve. That way I know which part was failing on me. Yes, very frustrating. Nothing really worked, and our furnace kept short cycling every 5 minutes, both inside the unit and outside of it on a bench test. So what I decided to isolate the furnace. Since this is the second one too, I decided to isolate the furnace completely from the trailer, bypassing the thermostat, everything electrical, and the gas line. Take a look. Okay, I went and bought a new battery to bypass all the electrical in the trailer, and I went to buy. I had the new gas regulator, and I bought 2 feet of gas hose, so I can do all that bench test outside the trailer. And these are the results. The furnace doesn't turn off. I run it for 29 minutes with 5 ducts open with no one stop, and I run it for another almost 12 minutes, restricting, purposely abusing the furnace, restricting 4 out of the 6, and then putting ductwork in that weird shape to create air restriction, plus a 90-degree, and I'm still running. The furnace doesn't stop. There was tremendous amount of effort trying to troubleshoot why our furnace short cycles, and really no one gave us a straight answer, and I was spending days and nights trying to figure it out myself. I have technical background. I was pretty much hands-on because I was anxious to get to the bottom of it. So the first conclusion, and the most important, is that there is no safety concern. I personally talked with Eric Sell, and the high limit switch positioned in the back of the furnace is doing what it needs to do in a situation that the chamber gets too hot. And the fact that it happened too frequent, it has to do with the position of the furnace. So most RVs, the furnace will be in the middle of the trailer and can be found in one of the sides. I don't think you would find any furnace that's it's in the front. So it would be on the sides, and rarely it will be positioned in the back. When the furnace is positioned in the back, then the duct runs to each register are longer, and that creates heat buildup in the furnace, which trips the high limit switch. Now, whether it's part of the operation or not, it depends who you ask. Even Eric Sell agreed that the position of the furnace is not ideal, but they also said that there is no safety concern. If that high limit switch fails, it fails open, and that means that all the system turns off. So my only concern was, if a safety switch fails, if there is any other mechanism that will protect me and my family inside that trailer. And the answer is yes, because that high limit switch is by design is going to fail open. I don't think it's going to affect on performance, because during that process we added more ductwork, because actually our trailer is getting heat up to the desired temperature faster, which is great, and we got reimbursed for all the expenses that we had. Well, there you go. So our problem really was long ductwork that was routed from the back of the trailer, from the furnace over here to the front, and the dinette, which located somewhere in the middle, and that created the short cycling. Whether your short cycling is from a component that is not working properly or from a furnace that is positioned in the back, I think this video gives you enough information to first spend the few minutes seeing the video and then going to troubleshoot. It might help you, it might not, but hopefully it will, to troubleshoot your problem. All right, take care until the next video.